So I told y'all a while ago that I felt like God had been calling me to be more vulnerable in this season of my life. And it's one thing that I've really been praying about because it's not always easy for me, but I know that it's necessary. And I know I told y'all like a few years ago I had went through this season where it felt like God had taken away all my interests. He had taken away all the things that I valued and I loved in my life. Pretty much the things that made up my life. Like at this point, they were my life. And I'm talking about people, places, things, jobs, money, all that. And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, it was a very dark and lonely time, although I wore a mask and acted like I was all fine all the time. And I've always been a person that prayed and read my Bible and tried to go to church and try to live right, blah, 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 blah. But I ain't even gonna hold you. During this time, that didn't even matter. And it didn't even matter because I still did not see myself. So I figured if I share that portion of what I went through, I'm gonna tell y'all what God did for me in that season. God snatched all those things away so that I didn't have a choice but to focus on Him and turn to Him. When I went to God in this season, I went to God about the problem. I went to God about the person. I went to God about the thing. And I was expecting God to work all that out. But instead, the plan was never about that or them. The plan was about myself. God showed me myself. In this season, I had to sit and see the things that I have been idolizing versus who I should have been idolizing. I realized that it wasn't even about what God could change around me, but more so what God could change in me. Like in this season, God showed me that I thought that I had a relationship with Him. I thought that I knew Him. But nah, I knew what God could do for me. But I never knew Him. And going through this season made me look at life totally different. I don't see nothing as a stumbling block, as something that should beat me down, as something that should stop me, as something that is meant to hurt and harm me. I look at them all as stepping stones to be who God has created me to be. In this season, God gave me my voice. God showed me my voice. God took away shame and pain and embarrassment. God took away hatefulness. And He even showed me that my purpose sometimes might not be the ideal thing that people want to hear and see. He showed me that my purpose might not always be pretty. He showed me that my purpose may not always be what I want to do. He showed me that my purpose may not always be what the people that I love want me to do. Like, I know I'm skilled and I can do a whole lot of things. But God showed me at the end of the day, it's all about how I can glorify Him in the things that I do. And the only way that I can do that is if I'm walking in my purpose, if I'm in alignment with Him. And y'all, when I started out in that season, I thought it was the worst season of my life. I did not think that I would ever even be where I'm at today. I didn't think that I would ever even be able to get through it. I was so hurt and broken and low. Again, no one ever saw it, but that's truly what I felt and how I was. I was crying probably every single day of my life during that time. And this is why we still gotta worship and give God a praise even during the tough times. Because we might not always see what He's doing, but I promise you, He took what I thought was the worst season of my life, and I can literally sit here and say honestly that it was the best season of my life.